If you tried to buy silver this morning, if you tried to log into your bullion dealer account, if you tried to place an order for a monster box or even a single tube of Eagles, you already know. You saw it. You saw the sold out banner. You saw the delivery delayed notification. You saw the premiums explode to $40 over spot in a matter of hours. And the customer service rep, if you could even get one on the phone, probably told you it was a logistics error. They probably told you it was a website glitch caused by high traffic. They probably told you that inventory would be back to normal by Monday. They lied. What you are looking at right now is not a glitch. It is not a logistics error. It is a detonation. It is the moment we have been warning you about for 3 years. The moment when the paper scheme finally disconnects from physical reality. The moment when the vault door swings open and reveals absolutely nothing. What happened yesterday at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time wasn't a computer error. It was a run on the bank. My phone has been lighting up for the last 12 hours with messages from contacts in London, New York, and Shanghai, and they are all saying the exact same thing. The dam didn't just crack, it broke. Here is exactly what they are trying to hide from you. Just minutes before the COMEX close yesterday, a single entity and sources are now confirming this is a sovereign wealth fund, likely aligned with the BRICS Alliance, submitted a request for physical delivery, not a cash settlement, not a rollover into next month's contract. They stood for delivery. They demanded the metal. We are talking about 5,000 contracts. Do the math with me. That is 25 million ounces of silver in one single trade. Now, in a normal market, 25 million ounces is a big order, sure, but it's manageable. It's business as usual. But we are not in a normal market. We are in a crime scene. Because when that order hit the desk at JP Morgan, when that order hit the clearinghouse, there was no metal to back it. The registered inventory, the silver that the COMEX claims is sitting there, tagged, barcoded, and ready to sell, it's gone. It's been leased out. It's been rehypothecated. It's been sold to 3 different people at the same time. And when a whale shows up and demands to take it home, the game of musical chairs stops. And yesterday, the music stopped. You want proof? You want to know I'm not just making this up? Look at the screen. Look at the price of silver in New York right now. It is trading at $104. Now look at the price in Shanghai. It is trading at $130. That is a $26 difference. That is a 25% arbitrage gap. Let me explain why that is impossible in a free market. If you could buy an ounce of silver in New York for $104, put it on a plane, and sell it in China for $130, you would make a risk-free profit of $26 an ounce. Every trader on Wall Street, every algorithm, every hedge fund would be doing that trade every single second until the price is matched. They would drain New York dry to sell in Shanghai. That is how markets work. But they aren't doing it. The gap is sitting there. It's staring us in the face. Why? Why is nobody picking up free money? Because they can't get the metal out of New York. Because the $104 price you see on your screen is a ghost. It's a fake price for a fake asset that you cannot have. If you try to buy it at that price, they will tell you sold out. If you try to take delivery, they will tell you force majeure. The real price is $130. The real price is what people are paying in Shanghai, where they actually demand the bar in their hand. The New York price is just a number on a screen designed to keep you calm while they loot the last few ounces out the back door. My sources tell me there was an emergency meeting last night. The Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the heads of the major bullion banks. They didn't meet to fix the supply chain. They didn't meet to figure out how to mine more silver. They met to decide how to stop you from finding out that the vault is empty. They know that if this $26 gap holds for another 48 hours, the entire game is over. Every hedge fund manager, every family office, every retail stacker is going to realize that the COMEX has defaulted. And when they realize that, they aren't going to sell. They are going to raid. They are going to take every last ounce of physical metal left in the system. They are going to drain the ETFs. They are going to drain the local coin shops. They are going to stand for delivery on every contract they hold. And that is exactly what the banks are terrified of. So what did they decide in that meeting? They decided to trigger the trap. They decided that instead of admitting they are bankrupt, they are going to change the rules. They are going to force you into a cash settlement. They are going to utilize a little-known clause in the contract that says if they can't find the metal, they don't have to give it to you. They can just write you a check for yesterday's price, that fake $104 price, and close your account. You think you own silver. You think that SLV ticker symbol in your brokerage account represents a bar in a vault with your name on it. You are wrong. You are an unsecured creditor to a bankrupt institution. And in this video, I am going to show you the document, the actual legal contract you signed without reading, that allows them to steal your silver, write you a check for pennies on the dollar, and leave you with nothing while they keep the real asset for themselves. This is the cash settlement trap. And if you don't understand it, you are about to become its victim. Because the whale that bought 25 million ounces yesterday, they know the trap is coming. That's why they demanded delivery. That's why they wanted the metal now. They know the window is closing, and if a sovereign wealth fund is panic buying, what do you think you should be doing? Stay with me, because I'm about to show you the smoking gun. I am about to show you the exact paragraph in the rulebook that validates everything we have been saying for the last 5 years. The conspiracy is no longer a theory. It is a legal clause, and they are about to use it against you. Stop listening to the pundits on CNBC. Stop listening to the guys telling you it's just a correction. Stop listening to your broker who says your account is safe. Read the contract. I want you to look at your screen right now. This is not a conspiracy blog. This is not a rumor on a forum. This is the official CME Group rulebook. This is the operating manual for the COMEX, the largest precious metals exchange in the world. And right there, in black and white, Chapter 5, Rule 589. Memorize that number, Rule 589, because that rule is the weapon they are going to use to kill the price rally. It's called special price fluctuation limits. It sounds boring, doesn't it? It sounds like safety. It sounds like market stability. It is a lie. It is a kill switch. Here is how it works. The moment silver prices start to explode, the moment that whale demand we talked about in the last segment pushes the price up too fast, Rule 589 triggers. It says that if the price of silver moves by a certain dollar amount in a single trading day, the market halts. It freezes, trading stops, you cannot buy, you cannot sell. The ticker symbol on your screen stops moving. Now you might think, okay, a pause is fine. It lets things cool down. Wrong. Rule 589 isn't there to let things cool down. It is there to force sellers back into the market. But here is the problem we face today. There are no sellers. The vaults are empty. The miners are holding back supply. The whales are demanding delivery. So when the market reopens after the halt and there are still no sellers, what happens? The rule says the exchange can expand the limits. They can widen the bands. But eventually, if the sellers don't show up, the exchange has the power to match trades. They have the power to force a settlement. Do you understand what that means? It means they can look at your long position, your bet that silver is going to $500, and they can legally close it out at yesterday's price. They can say, sorry, the market is broken. Here is your cash back. You don't get the silver. You don't get the profits from the squeeze. You get your original dollars back, dollars that are rapidly becoming worthless. Rule 589 is the emergency brake that stops you from becoming rich and keeps the banks from going bankrupt. They wrote the rule. They own the casino. And the rule says if the house loses, the game is canceled. But that's just the futures market. That's for the big boys. What about you? What about your retirement account? What about that SLV ETF you bought because it was easy? Oh, the trap there is even worse. I am pulling up the iShares Silver Trust prospectus. This is the legal document that governs the biggest silver ETF in the world. Most of you own this. Most of your pension funds own this. And I guarantee you, 99% of you have never read page 8. Let's read it together. The trustee may suspend the delivery of silver. Did you hear that? Suspend. If the delivery is impracticable. Impracticable. That is a lawyer's word for we don't have it. But it gets worse. Look at the section on redemption of baskets. Who is allowed to redeem shares for physical metal? Is it you? Can you call up JP Morgan and say, I have 10,000 shares, send me my silver? No. Only authorized participants can redeem baskets. Who are the authorized participants? The banks. The very same banks that are shorting the market, the very same banks that are draining the vaults. So here is the reality of your investment. You bought a piece of paper that tracks the price of silver. But the only people who can trade that paper for real metal are the banks. You are trapped in the paper loop. And here is the nightmare scenario. When the physical price disconnects from the paper price, like we are seeing right now with that $26 spread between New York and Shanghai, the authorized participants are supposed to step in and fix it. They are supposed to buy the paper and sell the metal to close the gap, but they can't because they don't have the metal. So what happens to you? The prospectus tells you exactly what happens. If the authorized participants cannot or will not redeem, the trustee has the right to settle in cash. Cash settlement. There is that phrase again. Imagine this. Silver hits $200 an ounce on the street. The coin shop is buying for $200. Shanghai is buying for $210. But the COMEX is halted at $100 because of Rule 589. And your ETF? It's tracking the COMEX price. You call your broker. You say, sell, get me out. And your broker says, we can't sell, the market is halted. And then a week later, you get a letter. It says your position has been liquidated. Due to extraordinary market conditions, they will say, and they will send you a check based on the last traded price, the halted price, the $100 price. You just lost 50% of your wealth, and it was all legal. It was all in the contract. You signed it when you clicked I agree on your brokerage app. This is the cash settlement trap. It is the ultimate rug pull. It turns gold and silver, the only assets that have no counterparty risk, into assets that are 100% counterparty risk. You are trusting JP Morgan to give you your money. You are trusting the CME Group to keep the market open. You are trusting the system to play fair when the system is facing an existential crisis. Do you really think they are going to let you win? Do you really think they are going to let a bunch of retail investors bankrupt the bullion banks? No, they are going to trigger the trap. They are going to settle in cash, and they are going to keep the metal, because that is what this is really about. It's not about money anymore. It's about the metal. They know the dollar is dying. They know the reset is coming. And in the reset, he who has the gold makes the rules. They want the metal. They don't want you to have it. Rule 589 allows them to keep it. The ETF prospectus allows them to keep it. And you get the paper. You get the fiat currency that they are printing into oblivion. In the next section, I am going to show you that this isn't just a theory. I am going to show you that they have done this before. I am going to walk you through the nickel crisis of 2022, where they didn't just halt the market, they deleted the trades. They literally went back in time and erased billions of dollars of profit to save a Chinese billionaire. If you think silver is safe, you need to hear this history lesson, because history is about to repeat itself. You think they wouldn't dare? You think the system is too big to fail, too regulated to cheat, too honest to just delete your money? Let me tell you a story about a metal called nickel. March 8th, 2022, a day that should be burned into the memory of every single person watching this video. On that morning, the price of nickel on the London Metal Exchange didn't just go up, it went vertical. It exploded 250% in a matter of hours. It hit $100,000 a ton. Traders who were long, people like you who saw the shortage coming, they made fortunes. In a single morning, they became millionaires. They played by the rules, they bought the contract, they held the risk, and they won. But on the other side of that trade was a Chinese tycoon, a man named Xiang Guangda. He was short. He was betting the price would go down, and he was short billions of dollars. When the price hit 100,000, he was bankrupt. And the banks that lent him the money, JP Morgan, Standard Chartered, they were facing billions in losses. So what did the London Metal Exchange do? Did they let the free market work? Did they force the billionaire to pay the traders? No, they halted trading. And then they did the unthinkable. They canceled the trades. They didn't just stop the game, they rewound the clock. They went back to midnight and said, everything that happened today, it didn't happen. They deleted $3.9 billion worth of legitimate legal trades. They stole billions from the people who were right to save the billionaire who was wrong. Let that sink in. They didn't just change the rules, they broke the timeline. And they did it right out in the open. The CEO of the LME literally went on TV and said it was necessary to maintain market stability. Market stability is code for saving the banks. Now look at silver. Nickel is an industrial metal. It's used in stainless steel. If nickel breaks, it's a problem for car makers. But silver is money. Silver is the Achilles heel of the US dollar. If silver goes to $500, it proves the dollar is worthless. It proves the Fed has lost control. Do you really think, do you honestly believe that if they were willing to break the law for nickel, they won't break the law for silver? Of course they will. They will shut it down faster than you can blink, and they have the tools to do it before it even gets to a crisis. We know about the algo. We know about the spoofing. This isn't a theory anymore. The Department of Justice literally convicted JP Morgan's precious metals desk as a criminal enterprise. They found that for years, traders were placing massive fake sell orders, thousands of contracts in a millisecond, to scare the price down. It's called a waterfall. You've seen it on the chart. No news, no dollar rally, no reason, and suddenly, boom, a vertical red line straight down. That is the algo. That is the machine designed to trigger your stop loss and steal your shares. But here is why 2026 is different. Here is why the algo is broken. The algo works on paper. It works when people are trading futures contracts. But the algo cannot print physical metal. Look at India. In the last 60 days alone, India has imported 1,800 tons of silver. That is nearly half of the world's production for that period. Gone into the vaults of Mumbai and never coming back. Look at the data centers. We used to talk about solar panels. That's old news. The new AI data centers being built in Texas and Virginia, they require massive amounts of silver for high-speed connectors. They are eating the industrial supply alive. The algo can smash the paper price to $10 if it wants. But if Apple needs silver for an iPhone and there is none in the vault, the price is infinity. And that brings us to the final weapon in their arsenal, the legal term that gets miners out of jail free. Force majeure. It sounds fancy. It means unavoidable accident. It's a clause in every mining contract. If a miner can't deliver silver because of a strike, a war, or a supply chain disruption, they can declare force majeure. They don't have to deliver. They don't have to pay penalties. They just walk away. We are seeing miners in Mexico hint at this right now. We are seeing refiners in Switzerland warn about delays. They are preparing the paperwork. They are getting the lawyers ready. They are going to cancel the trades. They are going to settle in cash. And they are going to invoke force majeure to tell you it wasn't their fault. But you know whose fault it is? It's yours. If you are still holding paper silver after watching this video, it is your fault because they are showing you the playbook. They showed you with nickel. They showed you with the Hunt brothers. They are showing you right now with the premiums. In the final section, I am going to tell you exactly what you need to do in the next 48 hours. I am going to give you the specific steps to get out of the trap before the door slams shut. Because once that settlement letter arrives in your mailbox, it is too late. We have looked at the data. We have read the legal contracts. We have studied the history of theft from the London Metal Exchange to the Hunt brothers. The evidence is overwhelming. The trap is set. The only question left is, are you going to be standing inside it when it snaps shut? Because I am telling you right now, the window to escape is closing. We are not talking about months anymore. We are talking about weeks, maybe days. Here is exactly what is going to happen in the next 30 days. I want you to write this down. I want you to timestamp this video. Phase 1 is happening right now. It is the decoupling. The spot price on your screen and the physical price in the real world are tearing apart. You see a chart that says $104, but your local dealer says $140. That spread is the system screaming in pain. Phase 2 comes next. It is the freeze. You will log into your brokerage account one morning, probably a Monday after a chaotic weekend in Asia, and the sell button will work, but the buy button will be grayed out. They will call it a volatility halt. They will say it is for investor protection. It is a lie. It is capital controls. They are locking the doors to the burning theater so the banks can exit first. Phase 3 is the force majeure. This is when the miners and the refineries officially declare they cannot meet their contracts. They will blame energy costs. They will blame a strike in Mexico. They will blame a cyber attack. It doesn't matter what the excuse is. The result is the same. The metal stops moving. And phase 4? Phase 4 is the settlement. That is the day you get the email. The email that says your position has been closed at the last traded price. The email that puts fiat currency back into your account while the real price of silver goes to 500, then 1,000, then infinity against the dying dollar. So how do you survive phase 4? How do you make sure you are the one holding the asset, not the settlement check? You have to understand the difference between allocated and unallocated. If you have a pool account with a bullion dealer, or if you own an ETF, you likely have unallocated silver. Do Do you know what that means? It means you are an unsecured creditor. It means you paid for silver, but the bank took your money and used it to fund their own operations. They didn't put a bar on a shelf with your name on it. They put an IOU on a spreadsheet. Think of it like a bakery. You paid for a loaf of bread, but the baker sold that same loaf of bread to 100 other people. He is betting that only one of you will show up to claim it. Well, guess what? Yesterday, the whale showed up. The whale took the bread. If you are one of the other 99 people holding a receipt, you are not getting bread. You are getting a refund, and you can't eat a refund. You need to get out of unallocated accounts immediately. You need to get out of SLV immediately. You need allocated storage. That means there is a specific bar with a specific serial number sitting in a specific vault, and it legally belongs to you. If the bank goes bankrupt, that bar is not their asset. It is your property. They cannot touch it. But even better than allocated is possession. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. It is a cliche for a reason. In a crisis, possession is 10/10 of the law. When the digital systems go down, when the cyber attacks hit, when the power grid flickers, the only wealth that exists is the wealth you can touch. I know what you are thinking, but the premiums are too high. I don't want to pay $40 over spot. Listen to me. The spot price is a psyop. It is a psychological operation designed to trick you into thinking silver is cheap, so you don't buy it, or into thinking it's expensive, so you sell it. The spot price is fake. The premium is not a premium. It is the real price. If you can't buy silver for $104, then the price is not $104. If the cheapest ounce you can find is $140, then the price of silver is $140. Stop waiting for the price to come down. It is not coming down. The paper price might crash. The algo might smash it to $50 tomorrow. But the physical price, the price to actually get metal in your hand, that is going to the moon. Don't let the spread fool you. The spread is the trap. We are watching a slow motion bank run on the ultimate currency. Gold and silver are the only money that has no counterparty risk. They are the only money that is not someone else's liability. In 1933, Franklin Roosevelt didn't ask nicely for the gold. He demanded it. He criminalized it. He forced the American people to turn in their wealth for paper money. And then, once he had the gold, he devalued the paper money by 70%. He stole their purchasing power. In 2026, they aren't going to send soldiers to your door to take your gold. They don't have to. They are just going to click a mouse button and settle your digital silver in cash. It is a digital confiscation. And the only way to opt out is to take delivery. So here is your instruction manual for the next 48 hours. 1. Log into your brokerage. Look at your positions. If you hold paper silver, sell it. Take the loss if you have to. Get the cash out. 2. Find a reputable bullion dealer. I don't care which one. Find one that actually has inventory. 3. Buy physical metal. Buy sovereign coins, eagles, maples, Britannias. They are recognized worldwide. They are hard to counterfeit. And in a worst-case scenario, they are legal tender. 4. Take possession. Do not leave it in the dealer's vault. Do not leave it in the bank's safety deposit box. A safety deposit box is inside the bank. If the bank closes for a holiday, your wealth is locked inside with it. Get it in your hands, hide it, secure it, be your own central bank. Because when the letter arrives, when that cash settlement notification hits your inbox, it will be the worst feeling of your life. You will realize that you were right about the crash, you were right about the inflation, you were right about the silver squeeze, but you were wrong about the vehicle. You bet on the horse, but you didn't own the horse. You owned a ticket to watch the race, and the track just canceled the event. Don't be the victim. Don't be the unsecured creditor. Be the owner. The trap has been set. The spring is loaded, and the whale just stepped on the trigger. The only question now is, are you going to get your hand out of the jar before it shatters? I'll see you on the other side.